All right. My name is Nigeria Chambers. I am from Big Go Belt Media. Ernesto, I've been waiting to talk to you all week. We are here to talk about your new project, Diablo, on demand, digital, and in theaters, June 13th. My brother, how you feeling?
Good, good. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for inviting me here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I would say, and be honest, I'm a little new to your work, but I did watch Fist of the Condor, and I've been a fan since. And
Cool.
first of all, I love this genre, and when find or discover new directors, I ride with them to the end because obviously the whole goal is to continue to give us, the fans, the audience, what we want. The craft keeps getting better and better. You try new things, you do different things, but what I really love about the action and really when it comes down to some of these elite martial artists in the world, it almost feels like, and I think this is an okay analogy, but it almost feels like the Avengers because it's like you and Marco already did a project together. Then you're like, hey, let's get Scott on board. What could go wrong here? And it just continues to elevate. And once again, you got another project that is so much fun. And I can't wait to dive into all of my questions here. But the first thing I do want to ask, and Scott gave me a little bit of a tidbit here, was that you initially wanted to film this in Chile and you moved it to Colombia. So, can you talk about why you had to make the change? And then beyond that, whether you can talk about that or not, what I'm really curious about is just how much did it change the story? Because
Mm.
if you're going to be in Colombia, then it's right that you cast Alana, who is your Colombian lead here. So obviously your actress change here, and then you obviously how you're going to use the locations, the set, the third act is so dependent on where you're at. So I'm just curious about why the change, and then ultimately all the different things that you had to change within the story to make it work.
Okay, well, yeah, the change from Chile to Colombia is totally a production thing.
Okay.
So I mean, was any other reason beside that? And what I thought, and I also told the team, especially Scott and Craig, one of the producers, I told them, man, Destiny put us in Colombia to shoot this movie because Alana de la Rosa was here, you know. So for me, when we found her, because it's difficult to find an actress, a Latin actress that age that talks in English
Yeah.
and is that awesome actress, you
Yeah.
know. So when we found her down in Colombia, we were like so happy, and we said, okay, everything makes sense now. So let's make it, let's have fun with this. The locations, Colombia, obviously, as a country, as a city, Bogota and Chia brought a lot to the atmosphere of the movie too.
Yeah.
We wanted to feel the landscapes and the people, like the real thing, the flavor, the Latin
Yeah.
flavor of Colombia. So we try to put that in the movie, to have this unique
Yeah.
feeling and not be another action typical martial arts movie, but
Yeah.
try to make Colombia a part of it.
Yeah. For sure.
And also, especially that scene that you're talking about, the final, sequence, action sequence in that factory, abandoned factory. Well, the beauty about that is that it was not in the script, that tower, you know. So when we got there and we saw that the location is amazing, and we see this tower and we say, okay, we someone gotta fall. I mean, we can't. The story cannot happen in the first floor. The audience is gonna see this tower and it's gonna say, okay, they gotta get there.
The kids in us automatically thinks like somebody needs to jump off of this, fall off of this. We have to use this.
Yeah. So we adapted the story to make it work for that location,
Yeah.
and that's why we have, it feels totally part of it,
Yeah.
because it came to, like, this kind of stuff happens, and then we try to make the best as we could with what we had.
Yeah,
So
great job, and you're right. I will say, and that's why. Can't wait to get my chance to talk to Alana. But like, yeah, not only is the backdrop of Colombia is sort of a character, but like it's her home, and you can feel even through her performance that she's representing her home, and it brings so much life to her character that you care about the people that's around. You notice the representation, you notice the landscapes of the city. From the road designs, the type of cars that are being driven, and obviously the final act. You can't help but to look around in all the different spaces. So yeah, you did a good job, and I definitely want to give a hats out to like your principal photography team and your cinematography team and getting that done. They nailed it. But yeah, let's just talk about the third act a little bit more here. I'm gonna come back to some other things, but we're talking about the third act, so we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
All right. You have possibly one of the best crafted final sequences, action sequences between two of the elites in the game. I mean, it just doesn't get better than Marco, who is obviously BFFs from Scott Adkins. These are two of their best at their best, doing it their best. And we'll talk about them crafting that in a second. But then you add so many other different elements to it. The drone shots are incredible in it. And then the emotional toll from even looking at like the higher views, so you can tell by the stakes of how high they are. You got, what's happening with a lot of character going on here. First, as a director, I want to hear your input, but you as the fan, when you were seeing this come to light and you're doing your thing and you just know you had something special, what was your thoughts and reactions beyond it?
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. You feel when you find something like that, and when you start creating it, and it's not easy, obviously. It's like it gotta make sense, and we had so many ideas of how to use this location. Ones were too fantastic, too incredible. The other ones were too, boring, and we needed to find the right one for the tone of the movie. You know and then when I and it's a lot of footage, over this ramp, Marco fighting Scott, blah blah, all the different places of the location.
Yeah.
So I gotta say the editing was also a big challenge, a big challenge.
Okay.
And I don't know, I was thinking in all those, huge movies that you have a battle, going in parallel to another, fight, and the music, going up and up and up and up, increasing the tension. I don't know, man. It's just it's what I wanted to see, and we tried as a team to make it, the suspense work.
Yeah.
So, but and when I saw like the last two cuts, two versions of it, I realized that it was like, yeah, we got something here.
Yeah, yeah. All that footage, if you have it, let's go to physical media with it. I'll be right here ready to buy right now. Um, I got a little bit of time left, so I got to ask you, you being friends with Marco, who's one of the writers, Matt is also one of the writers, and we all know this across any genre. If there's no body, then, that means that that person or thing must still be out there. Has there already been talks or discussions of a sequel?
Uh, well, I don't want to spoil, but you know that
I ain't say no names or nothing. I just want to know.
you know that it could be, you know.
Yes.
So, and I love to make a sequel.
Yes, sir.
So hopefully, the,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So let's pray for it. I wanna make it, obviously.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Last question here, and it's a little bit of a combine question because I've been avoiding this the whole time. But I mean, like, listen, you and Marco have done work together. Scott and Marco obviously have done work together. You bring Scott under you, who said he was very excited to work with you. He said his buddy Marco called up and said, "You got to work with this guy." He says, "Cool, I'm ready to work with this guy." You get Scott Adkins and Marko Zaror under one umbrella for a project. For you having Scott a part of this, how special was it for you? And then ultimately, Marco character is the most sadistic character in a martial arts film I think I've ever seen. He's a little bit of John Kramer from Saw, a little bit of Lockjaw from Golden Eye, and then he kicks with the best. He throws punches as the best. He's elite in what he does. He's sinister the moment you look at him. When you have a character like that, and then when you get to really work with Scott, who comes in as this redemption story, I won't give anything else with that, but more of a redemption story here. How excited are you to have these pieces of the puzzle together for this?
Well, yeah, man. You're right there asking that question, man, because I was nervous. I was nervous. I know I have the chance to work with Scott Adkins that he made, I don't know, more than 60 movies, action movies, leading role. He knows a lot about shooting, and I mean, it's not that he knows a lot. He knows how to shoot a movie. He
Yeah.
could direct his own movies. He's a cinephile. He knows a lot about other movies, other people's movies. He made movies when he was a kid in high school. He made home movies as we did with Marco. So I wanted to demonstrate him that I was able and capable of doing an amazing fight between them. So I don't know, I put all my heart in this movie to make it look as best as I could, and to be in the level of Scott Adkins movies, and try to be better.
Yeah. Fantastic job. You did an amazing job. And as much as I want a sequel for this too, I will also lobby for a sequel for Fist of the Condor if there possibly is more story to tell there. I love the good homage to old school cinema and old school martial arts, like to the T. I know that felt so good to watch that film. But now it's time for us, the fans, the audience, the listeners out there to go out and support June 13th, Diablo in theaters, on demand, and digital. Ernesto, thank you so much for your time. I am rooting for you and can't wait to talk to you again on a future project.
Thank you, man. Thanks a lot for supporting us, and I hope people enjoyed the movie. The fans of the martial arts will, I'm sure they will. So go and watch it, please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much today.